Man, all praise the King. Oh man, being married is amazing. That's one thing. I really thank the Lord for. Is my wife. It's a it's a beautiful thing being married. There she go right there. Yeah, all praise the King though. Yeah, man. Just was at the church. You know, setting up stuff for I don't know. I don't know what it was for, but whatever the missus be wanting. you know, whatever she wants. I mean, but I mean, then I want to be spending time with her because getting off work, and then if I'd have got home and then just been home, I'd have been like, oh, this is stupid. This is by myself, so I had to go. But when I would just be thinking about life. I'd be like, man, stuff is stuff is crazy, and I'd be talking to like I was talking to this lady at church, and she was asking me like how long I've been up here. I mean, I ain't been up here that long. I've been up here like I think 5 months, and she's like asking me like how I like it and whatnot. And I mean, I love it up here. I mean, granted, it's a little bit colder, but ooh, you know what I'm saying? Dress warmer. And with all of that, you know, it's a lot better than Portland. Like a lot of things are better than Portland, and that's the that's the part that gets me. Like out here, you don't see people actively using drugs. You know, like in Portland, there's drugs and tents and foil and like everything everywhere. It's not like that here. Now, it's here. Like that's not what I'm not saying it's not here because it's everywhere, but it's not like Portland where it's just in the open everywhere. Like you kind of gotta go like look for it, and that's the thing with the homeless. Like I've been trying to figure out where the homeless are. Like where are they? Like the only time I really see the homeless people are when I get off work. Oh yeah, when I get off work, I'm like on the bus. That's when I see them. And I mean, I've been trying to talk to them. I try to talk to them about the Lord, and I ask them how long they've been on drugs, and then I go in to ask them, do they ever want to stop? And then sometimes they're like, yeah, no, but then I'd be like, I'm just 5 years sober. Like I just got off Suboxone. I've been off Suboxone like a year now, and then they kind of oh, you know, because I think that's a very important thing. Like when you talk to somebody about their drug use, is always say that you were a drug addict too, and say that how long like how long you've been clean or when you got off drugs. Because when a sober person or a person that has not done drugs asks another person some But when a sober person asks a person about their drug use, it always starts off like they kind of like look at you like, why are you asking me about my drug use? But the line of questioning and how you are, because people that never did drugs come off weird. But when I do it, it's kind of like either I'm a drug dealer or I'm something else. It's hard for them to tell because I look like I could sell drugs. I do. Well, I mean, I have kind of, not really, but a little bit. I was a petty drug dealer. Um, and, I asked them about their drug use, and I say, yeah, you know, I'm barely clean. I only been clean 5 years. But looking at me, I don't seem like I used to be a drug addict. What's up? I don't look like I used to be a drug addict. And then, my demeanor, I got pretty much all my teeth besides one. uh, oh, and an extra tooth. I had an extra tooth that had to get pulled out. And I have another extra tooth. I got two extra teeth. Well, one now. But so, I mean, when I tell people that I used to be a drug addict and, you should, if you want to get off, ask God and He'll take it from you. You know, some people are more liable to hear it, especially when I can go into my testimony and talk to them about it, and they're more understanding. But I've never really had a person get mad at me about it. Like, oh, what do you mean? No, they don't. They don't get mad at me talking about getting sober because when I say I'm only 5 years clean, 5 years really isn't that long. Like it's really not, but it is. And I think the way I talk to them too is I talk to them like they are people. Like I don't talk to them like, oh, like I'm above you or anything. No, that's not it. Like I talk to them like, bro, you can do it. Like it's able to, you're able to do it. Like if I can do it, you can. Granted, and I always tell them, I know exactly where you are. I was just there 5 years ago. Homeless, not home. I never say what kind of homeless I was, but I mean, I was couch surfing. That's homeless, bro. But legit, 5 years, everything, Um, but yeah, I was talking to this guy, and he can't hear in one ear, and I found out today that he couldn't smell, and I was like, "How long has it been since you couldn't smell?" And he said since 79, and this guy's older. He's like 74. And I asked him like, "What happened? Did you get in a car crash or something?" He said, "No." Told me the story, and a dude had put a gun right here and pulled the trigger in 79. It was a 38. The bullet went in, didn't hit no, didn't hit none of his brain. It went through, hit his skull, and wrapped around, went around the skull, and like blew his eardrum, and I guess messed up like his sinuses. But I couldn't tell, like, and I've been like, yeah, I've been around this dude for like a little minute, but right here, there's like a small little. It doesn't even look like anything. Like it just looks like a little, kind of like a little scar, but not really. And I'm like, I'm baffled. Cause I'm like, and he was like, yeah, dude stuck the gun like right in my face and pulled the trigger. And I'm like, bro, you have a face. Like, well, I didn't say that, but in my mind, I'm like, you have a face. But I was like, praise the Lord, because the odds of that, like your everything not being gone, is like crazy. And I mean, it's beyond me because like that's only the second person that I've ever like heard their story. I also know somebody that got shot right here, and they spit the bullet out, and nothing else happened. They have a scar right here, and he got shot in the mouth with a nine, and I I mean, how does that happen? But like I said, it's God. It's nothing else. So I'd say and then the other dude that got shot in the face, like he's in his 70s, like, and dude is like still moving, doing all the things. Like I'm like, bro, but I can't even like imagine that. Like I never asked did the dude go to jail. Like never asked none of that. But he said after he got hit and he went to the hospital because he doesn't remember anything. He said he remember getting hit on the head and then he dropped down to his knee. And the people that he was with said he was talking that stuff. And when he stood up, the dude put the gun in his face and shot him. And he said the the next thing he remembers is a voice asking him, "Is he ready? Is he ready to be done being here?" Or something like that. I forgot what he said, but he said, are you ready?" And he said, "No, I still got this and this and this to do." And as soon as he got done saying that, he woke up in the hospital, and it's like I think he said it was like a month, and he was in the hospital for 3 months and was discharged. He had to go like every like week to see if the bullet like moved. But what he said what happened is his body had made like a hard like knot around it, like pretty much calloused it so it wouldn't move because there was like an artery or something that it was like right next to. So if it moved and it hit it, like touched it, it basically would kill him. But he says his body just, kind of made a little cocoon and he just been trucking along. Like, man, the stories this guy be telling because he's so old, like it's not because he's old, but I think I have a soft spot for older people because they've just lived so much life and like things were so much different. Like dude was traveling with a band. That's how this was like on a Christmas Eve. Dude was traveling with a band and they were going and seeing people before they went to a concert or like before they went to their show. And that's when all that happened. And it was just weird circumstance. It's weird the things that we go through. And I don't think we understand the level of like grace and mercy that we get like from the most high. Like even when we're Gentiles and heathens and we don't we don't have them in our lives, like we really do get a lot of grace. Cause I'm like, bro, you got shot in the face with a 38 and you're like fine, like completely fine. And then like dude that got shot in the mouth, you know what I'm saying, with the nine, spit the bullet out, fine. That's crazy, bro. Like, dude, dude turned. Somebody was like, who is they? Where? Woo, woo, woo. He turned his head. They shot through the back window. He turned his head. The bullet smacked him. He spit the bullet out. That's crazy work. But yeah, man. I mean, that's crazy because I mean, even like if he wouldn't have looked, he would have got shot in the back of the head, which is crazy. Like that's another thing. If he wouldn't have turned his head, he would have got shot in the back of the head. It's like all these weird things that just happen that I mean we shouldn't be in these certain places at certain times. Because I remember one time I got in a car crash when I was when I was 18. It was on a New Year's, and I was out and drunk, all that, and we was driving, and we had an accident. Get into all that, but we had an accident. But right before the accident, I had dropped my phone, took my seatbelt off, and the phone had fell underneath the passenger seat. So I'm reaching for it. I couldn't reach it at first, so I reached again, and we hit. When I hit, this and this went into the back of the seat. And when I tell you, oh my gosh, that hurt so bad. And then, I mean, it was time to go at that point. We opened up the car doors. We fell. Well, I fell like 2 feet. Like, yeah, it was bad. It was bad. Um, yeah, it was bad. But yeah, I fell like 2 feet out of the car. Um, hobbled away. You know, it wasn't stolen, and so let's do that. It wasn't stolen. Um, yeah, I never did stolen cars. Yeah, that's never been my thing. I'll drive a car. It ain't gonna be stolen. No, be a girl's car or something. Uh, not no more. Not no more. I ain't doing no driving. Uh, yeah, man. All the things. Cause I mean, if I'd have hit that seat without like with just taking my seatbelt off, I'd have broke my neck, guaranteed. I know I would have, because they were going way too fast. I don't even know how that even happened either. Because I'm like, bro, yo, how you do that? We must have been on the wrong street. You must have blacked out or something. Something ugly. But yeah, man, I don't know. It's so many things. So many things. And it's like the gut feeling too. Like I don't even have a gut feeling no more. I had one gut feeling, and that was for court with my daughter. It was like a check in, but we could have made it go to court after that. And my attorney was like, "Oh, let's wait, let's wait." And then we had to go to like a private room. My wife was like, "Oh, let's wait, let's wait." And I'm like, "Nah, man, let's go to court." She's not prepared. She's not prepared. Let's go. Let's go ahead and do it. And then my stomach was just burning. Like my stomach was on fire. Like it was weird. Like it was on. I don't know if you guys do sit ups or crunches, but it was like that burn, like where your abs are, but it was like inside my stomach. Like it wasn't my muscle, it was like my stomach. It was weird. It was on fire. And I agreed with him, and court got pushed out another 6 months. But I mean, now I have sole custody, so praise the Most High. Yeah, praise the King. Um, yeah, man. I mean, stuff is crazy. 'Cause I just be thinking about my walk, and getting off drugs, and you know my friend getting sober, my mom getting sober. My mom was alcoholic for years, and I mean my friend, she was alcoholic for, I don't know, a while, but I mean it wasn't as long as my mom's. And I didn't have a relationship with my mom for pretty much my a good chunk of my life. I would say. So I'm 34, so I'd say like 20, 26, 26. Yeah, like I'd say a solid 26, where it's just like not there. But I mean, now that she's sober, and I prayed for that. Like that was like all these things are some like things that I was praying for. And yeah, I mean, one day she just I don't know if she was trying to stop drinking, but I know she had ran out, and she was she had a seizure, and my dad had just got home, took her to the hospital and all that. And uh I didn't go to the hospital for some days. I didn't go until like the third day. And when I went up there, I was it was rough. It was rough to see her like that. Cause I before that, I mean, I didn't see her for, I mean, probably like 6 months, and like I just left broken. I left super broken, crying, and I was sick, and got back home, started praying. Um, Went up there the next day, and it was just me and her. I forgot who was there the first time, but I went up there the next day after work, and it was just me and her, and we was talking, and she apologized to me. She said she was sorry, and I'm crying. I don't care. I'm crying. Yeah, I told her it was okay. Stuff happens. Like at this point, I think I was still. Mm, I'd have to look. I feel like I was done taking pills. I'll get to that after this. But after she apologized to me, um, she had said that she was done. And the way she said it, granted, she was like, she had had seizures, and like she was looking bad, but she wasn't, like her brain wasn't messed up. Like she was there, like 100%. And she was like, I'm done. She was like, I don't want to do this no more. And I got happy because I knew once she said that she was done, I knew she was done. I knew I had my mom back. So I left there happy. And I'm talking to like my uncle and my cousin, and they're, oh, she's messed up and this, she's not gonna come back. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Nah, she's good. Like, what are y'all talking about? Like, y'all don't know. She's fine. Bro, now she's so good. She is so good. And then, like, when she got out of the hospital, she was able to like come to my house, like, because I actually had an apartment. That's what I'm saying. Like, in God's time, everything is like so perfect. Like, his plan is like mapped out the way it's supposed to be. It is crazy. Like the timing is just like out of this world. Um, but yeah, I mean, now she has a relationship with my daughter, because before then, I didn't I didn't have my daughter around her, because if I didn't want to deal with her being drunk, why would I have my daughter around her? In my mind back then, I would rather my daughter not know my mom at all and just know that that's her grandma, than for her to be around her and see the trauma and deal with all the drunk whatever. But now that she's sober and my daughter gets to see her, they have the best relationship, and she doesn't have any bad memories of my mom at all. And granted, people thought that was weird, but I mean, I'm kind of weird, so my methods might not be your methods, but it works. Um, and I mean, I play the long game too. Like all my stuff, it be seeming like it be going slow, but it tends to always work. Um, I think it's because everybody be wanting stuff fast, and nothing in my life really comes fast. Everything is kind of always slow. Like I'll tell you, when it comes to praying and asking for things, patience. Really think about, really, really think about that. If you pray for patience, He is going to teach you. Really think about praying for patience, because He's going to make things. Ooh, I prayed for patience and wisdom. Man, I tell you, I tell you, so much, so much has happened in the last 2 years. It doesn't make sense. Like, yeah, that whole process with my daughter, And I have court again on the 19th. Again, I'm not gonna get into that because I don't know what the guidelines are with that kind of stuff. But praise the Lord, I'm not worried about it. But yeah, nah. And like with the drug use, so and it's weird too because what I think now, I think that overdosing, I think overdosing is suicide. I am starting to think that now because if you if you were ever a drug addict or have talked to drug addicts, there is a point in your addiction, most likely multiple times, where you want to stop. Period. At any point, you can ask God, and this is normally at a bottom. That's one of the questions that I ask drug addicts. Have you hit your bottom yet? Because when you hit your bottom, that is like the best time to ask God to get sober. Because that's what I did. I mean, when I was at my bottom, I I woke up from withdrawal, and I never withdrew before, and I just looked around at my situation. I was like, man, I do not want to do this no more. Like I was just praying. I was like, I don't want to do this no more. And yeah, moved out the next day of that. The girl that I was with, and you know, started trying to seek the Lord the best of my capability. And I mean, with doing drugs and all that, if you if you know, and that's why I be trying to talk to like people that do drugs. If you know that there is a God or there's something, because if you know there's something, eventually you're gonna find out that it's God. If you're in addiction and you have that, I don't want to do this no more, but you continue to do it and you overdose, you've had chances to not do it. You have. Now, I do believe that there's times that people try things and just die. I do believe that. I really do. But I'm talking about an active drug addict. And I only say this because before my mom got sober, I'm pretty sure it was before she got sober, my aunt died. And I was teetering between Suboxone and fentanyl. And she had died. So I used to go see her every day before before my shift, and I would talk to her, and I would tell her I would be back to see her. I'd go to work, and I'd come back before I went home because I worked like 5 blocks from my house. And when I came back, she was she was on hospice, and when I walked in the house, everybody was like sad, and I like my cousin just like shook his head. I kind of want to cry a little bit, but yeah, I was like nah, she ain't. What are y'all talking about? Because like I've seen my aunt like almost die like 3 times. Like there was a time where they left her like chest open on the bed for like 3 days, bounced back. My auntie was a monster. She was a beast, bro. That was a good lady. But um, that night I overindulged a lot. I drank like a fifth. I took 2 pills. Yeah, I was out of control. And I got dropped off at my house. I left my car there. I got dropped off at the house. The last thing I remember was cooking, and I blacked out. I woke up at like 3 or 4 in the morning on my couch with all my lights on, and right then I'm pretty sure I overdosed. Um, don't know how I woke up, but I did. Praise the Lord. And I feel like right then was a defining moment in everything because I got my apartment and I got Section 8 out of nowhere. And yeah, my friend she wasn't clean yet neither. But the only thing that came to my mind, because my dad worked at those apartments, if I would have died right there, my daughter wouldn't have anybody. She wouldn't have nobody. And my dad would have found me dead. I said, yeah, no, I'm done. I've not touched a pill. I don't even think I've taken ibuprofen since then. No, I did take ibuprofen, but I mean, besides that, I haven't taken anything because I'm like scared of pills. Like that's why I don't never want to break anything. I don't never because I'm not gonna take no pills. I'm not doing it. Not at all. I can't. Like they terrify me now. And then my my man, my brother overdosed. Um, I want to say this is 3 years ago now. Yeah, he overdosed. So my brother, he was on dialysis. He's been on dialysis since he was 15, and he's had like a bad. He's had bad kidneys since we were kids. Like I'm talking like three. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I was three, but he's always had weight, and that's been water weight the whole time. He broke either his leg or his collarbone playing baseball, and they were running his blood because he was retaining fluid. And that's when we found out he had a rare kidney disease where it's like the number is crazy. It's like one out of like every like 2 million or some shit like that. Like it's crazy. Like the number didn't even make sense, but it was that rare. And they told him that at 15. So I was like 12. I was like 12 or 13. At the point that they told him at 15 that he's not going to live until he is 18, from that point my brother started doing drugs. Legit. He started doing drugs. He started smoking weed, he started smoking meth. He was doing everything. Um this guy oh man, I miss that guy. He did yeah, he did it all. Um yeah, legit until he died. Um Sorry, I'm just thinking about just stuff. I'm thinking about stuff now. But don't listen to the doctors. I'm not gonna say don't listen to the doctors, but I'm saying don't listen to the doctors. Like God can heal anything. God can heal anything. But as soon as the doctors told my brother that he's not gonna live until 18, he lived well past 18. My brother was 35 when he died. Like doing all the drugs. Like, bro, this guy this guy would leave, like disappear, would be somewhere in Milwaukee or deep Clackamas smoking meth for 3 months, not going and getting his kidneys flushed, nothing. And your kidneys don't work. This guy would be out smoking meth and drinking and then just pop up at the dialysis. And my mom and dad would get a call. Well, he finally showed up and he didn't die. So you're just running off meth and drinking and whatever else. But the point, either way, I'm trying to get back. I'm trying to get back because I'm just talking about drug use and how wild my brother was. So before he died, it was just a string of events, and I know it's because he was going to stop. So me and him lived in the same apartments. My brother had was running around with this little group of people, and he didn't come back to the house. And my dad had got a call because he was at the hospital. Got the information. They found my brother in an abandoned warehouse somewhere in downtown Portland, like barely alive. He doesn't know how he got there. None of that. Ends up moving with my parents. He's still like trying to sneak drugs and whatnot because he was on methadone too. So when he would go to the clinic, because he would get the little van thing, he would get drugs and try to do it at my parents' house or whatever. Didn't work. He'd go on little walks or whatever. But his one of his friends had won some tickets to Vegas, and I had talked to him about it. I was like, "Hey, man, like what's really going on, bro?" And he was like, I just want like one more hurrah, and I'm gonna be done." Because I was already talking to him about writing a book because I'm like, bro, with your kidney disease and you were supposed to have died at like 18, and how much they've lied and all the things that they put you through with like all the testing and all this other stuff, and you're just history of drug use and you did not die and you're still alive. Oh yeah, that was another thing. When he was in the like when he's after the warehouse thing and he was in the hospital, he got this freaking crazy like flesh eating bacteria on his leg. And when I tell you his leg from his ankle to, at first it was his ankle to his knee, down to the bone, like on like the outside of his leg was like gone. Then it got up to his like mid thigh, and it was just eating up like just the side of his leg. And so they just kept having to like peel off like layers. Sorry guys, it's kind of graphic, but they kept had to keep taking flesh to stop it from like continuing to eat his flesh. Then they had to graft skin from his back and all these other places. End up saving his leg because they were talking about they had to like cut his leg off, but like from the thigh, like he was gonna be like super lopsided. But they were able to save the leg, and that's what I'm saying. Like he went through so much. He goes to the concert, comes back, calls because I'm at my parents' house. I was staying with my daughter, and we were just visiting. He called and says he made it to back to Portland. He's staying at his buddy's house in downtown. We're my dad's gonna drop us off back at my house and pick up my brother. We stop at my grandma and grandpa's, and we're all talking. My grandpa was still alive, and my dad had got a phone call, and the way he said what, I knew something was bad. And he just looked at me and my grandpa and he said, "Tristan's dead." And I was like, "What?" My grandpa just started crying. Damn, it makes me want to cry again. Dang, this is kind of rough. This is a rough little conversation. I almost cried 2 times. That's wild. But yeah, that's ugly work. My grandpa started crying. I don't think I ever seen my grandpa cry. That might have been like the second time I ever seen him cry. But I guess everybody said he cried more with like older age, but I never remember him crying. But I mean, I only did see him cry as he got older, but he's always been old because he's old. Hey, that was a good man too. Um, but yeah, he died, and I mean, we asked what happened, and I guess they used the night before, and he said that he thought he was overdosing, but he said he was fine. He went in his room. He came back out and he said that he had the death rattle. So if you know he had the death rattle, why didn't you call 911? Because see, in Portland now, because the drug use is so rampant, they don't you don't get in trouble if somebody overdoses with you. Like if I'm with any of you guys and when you guys start overdosing and I call 911, I wouldn't get in trouble because we're all doing drugs. It doesn't work like that in Portland anymore because it's common now. Yeah, so basically he just let my brother die. And I know he was gonna quit. Like I know he was. But because he didn't, and that's the part that like it eats me up, is I know he was going to. So it's almost like the devil knows when you're kind of like really gonna do it or change. He wants to kill you before you get to a place that you need to be. Because my brother would have been able to like legit like get to so many people, like, and his body showed it. Like, what's that? Like a prisoner of war. That's the best description I could say. Like he was 35 but had a cane. What been through it all? Like man, yeah. So I mean, yeah, I feel like ODs are pretty much pretty much that. And then I mean, it also makes you feel like suicide too because you're putting yourself in that situation. You kind of are suicidal because you're playing with these things. I had to think about it too. When I was younger and I was more reckless and I didn't really care about myself, essentially that's suicidal because granted I didn't want to do it to myself, but if I don't care about the consequences of the things that I'm doing and the level of the things that I'm doing, it's pretty much suicidal. It's not caring about nothing. The only time I really started caring about something is when my daughter was born. I mean, shit. Before that, well, you don't know, but yeah, I was fighting. I was fighting the court. I was going to go to jail forever. Uh, so I mean, even with that, it was like I thought I was going to throw my life away at 21, like legit. Like man, that was some ugly work. I was, yeah, I was like 20. Yeah, I was 21 and had a whole self defense case that I was fighting. Granted, I didn't know it was self defense. I thought I was fighting manslaughter, uh, involuntary manslaughter. That's what I thought I was getting. I thought I was gonna get a cool 13, 17 kick, but no, it's, it was all it was all self defense. I don't know where none of y'all are from, but don't let nobody tell you nothing different. Every single state, every state in the United States has a self defense. Don't let nobody tell you nothing. I was always told in Oregon there's no self defense. That was a lie. Every state, every state. If you feel threatened for your life, threatened for your life, you can defend yourself with bodily harm. Period. I don't care. I don't care where you are. So always keep that in mind because yeah, but you also have to be right. Because I mean, my situation was kind of ugly. Granted, I wasn't the aggressor, and you know, we did. Mm, yeah, but I mean, even if you don't have a stand your ground, because there's a lot of states that aren't stand your ground. So those states that aren't stand your ground, they're self defense. And period. If you are threatened for your life, you put in that work. You do what you have to do. You don't let somebody hurt you like on that. You know what I'm saying? Because I tell you, at this point, everybody scares me. Now, I ain't just gonna go around and shooting everybody, but yeah, I mean, because I fought him, a few times. Granted, that last time he pretty much knocked me out. I was standing, but I was not standing. Not I was knocked out. But I mean, if everything wasn't recorded, and that was the thing, everything was recorded. So that's another thing that kind of saved the situation. Um, yeah, I tell you, detectives ain't stupid. Like, and criminals aren't smart. Because after all that, um, and yeah, I mean, I I did whatever I did, and that's what, bro. That's another thing. Meth, like people that do drugs and like on a like any form of like defending yourself or whatever, bro. Drugs make people superhuman. Cause yeah, after whatever happened, he turned around and ran, like took off, like full speed. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. And I mean, I ran because fear. You know what I'm saying? Like legit, I ran. I was scared. And plus, I mean, you don't shoot people. Like that's just what it is. I ran. I got stopped a couple blocks away. I I tell you, I got that first block. I never in my life heard so many sirens. Never. Man, I hit that block. I threw up. I threw up. So you know who they coming for. I threw up. I heard one, then I heard another one. Then it was like two more. Then it was two more. And then there was another one. There were so many sirens. I instantly threw up. Cause I'm like, oh yeah, I'm screwed. So, oh man, pulled me over, did all that. Sat in the car for some hours. Went and swabbed my arms and identified me and all that. Took me downtown. Talked to the detectives. So the detectives, they, well, what happened? Kind of tell them what happened. And then I was like, yeah, I want a lawyer. Like, what do you mean you want a lawyer? That's what detectives are smart because I was also drunk. I was out bar hopping. Granted, they caught me with the gun and everything, but the girl detective looked at the man and was like, "What are we gonna do about the what are we gonna do about the homicide?" And I said, "Oh, he ain't dead." But I'm drunk though. I'm like, "Oh, he ain't dead." And I was like, I want a lawyer. So they just kind of they closed their little thing, little whatever that little folder thing is, and they were like, all right, we're gonna put you in this holding cell. Yo, as soon as they put me in the holding cell, I was in there sleep. I was in there snoring. So when you go back there, so there's the detectives, and then right across the hall is a holding cell. But then there's a hallway with a big metal door and another one. It put me in there. I passed out because at that point I was already up for like 7. No, I was in there. I was up for like 6 hours, like just like in cop cars and talking to them. I'm in there passing out, and then they come get me and they ask me, "Do I want anything?" And I was like, "Yeah, a toothbrush." They were like, "A toothbrush?" I was like, "Yeah," because I mean at that point I was all the way confident and comfortable with the decision that I made. You know, it, y'all caught me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, pop dude, y'all know it's me. So let me get a toothbrush. You know what I'm saying? Like my breath stink. I've been drinking all night. Stressed out. Let me brush my teeth. I mean, it's not funny, but it took me down in booking. I guess I could have got out on my own recognizance, but nobody told me that. They kept just calling me up to the desk and was trying to have me sign something. I'm like, I'm not signing that because they wasn't letting me read it. Like they would have it covered up just for where I sign it. I'm like, I'm not. What is it? Go sit down. I had to get bailed out, and I have to. But after the whole court process and all that, I had sat and talked to the DA because the DA wanted to talk to me. I had talked to her first, and then that was a woman DA. She was taking over for the man. The man DA. I don't know his name, but he was one. I don't even really get scared with people, but I tell you that man DA was so intimidating. He was a tall. He was just a tall white man with long white hair that was slicked back and the bluest eyes. Terrifying because he kind of just looked at me like he got to be lying. Lady, she was mean at first, and then the court was going on. We got done. I said what I said, and then they asked me did I want to watch the video, and I was like, no. I think they were kind of shocked that I said no. I don't want to watch that. Like I did not want to relive nothing. Like I'm cool. Um, this one jury, it was an old lady. She broke me down. She was just staring at me, just staring at me like, oh baby. It was horrible. And I talked to the detectives after that, and the detectives said they knew I did. They knew I didn't. They knew I felt comfortable with what my decision was, and that I wasn't guilty. And I said, "What makes you say that I wasn't guilty?" And they said, "Because you slept. Like because I slept in the holding cell. A guilty person is not going to sleep. A person that did something wrong is going to be stressed out. I'm going to go to jail forever." I was 100% confident with the choices that I made. Crazy thing too. So before that morning, I had a dream about my grandma, and there's a there's a Safeway that used to be like down the street from my house. And in the dream, my grandma, she's already passed on at this point, and like yeah, my grandma was dead like some years. I'd say like 5 years before that. No, not 5 years. like two, yeah, because she died when I was 19. So it was 2 years before that. I had a dream about her, and I walked in Safeway. And I walked over. I was down by the lanes, and I ain't seen her. Ran up and gave her a hug. I was like, "Hey, grandma, how you been?" She was like, "Good." And she asked me something, and then she was like, "Tell your mom to get some rest." And I was like, "Okay." Gave her a hug. She walked off towards the fruit and vegetables and stuff. I woke up and I remember leaving the house and telling my aunt, my sister, if I die, somebody else dies, or if I end up in jail, grandma told y'all. And I called my mom and I was like, "Hey, grandma said to get some rest." I didn't tell her about the dream about grandma. So anytime I have a dream about my grandma, well, not now, not anymore, because I prayed that away. But anytime before before I prayed about it, and I had a dream about my grandma, somebody would die that day, like legit. Like grandma is, I think she's like 10 for 11, like on that, like so serious. You were either somebody in our family or somebody that we considered you family. Because I had a dream about I had a dream about her when when one of the men that raised me when he died. Um, so that's when I came to the conclusion because it was somebody else before that. It was somebody else before that too. I can't remember who it was. But somebody died before my dad died, and I had a dream about her too. But on that third one, that was my situation. And then there was a whole bunch of other dreams before or after that. Because I remember one, I was at my cousin's house, and I woke up. I woke up on the couch because I was just sleeping on the couch, and I woke up. And I had a dream of my grandma, and it was my big cousin and my little cousin, and I was like, I had a dream about grandma, and they were just gonna walk out the house. They were just gonna walk out the house, and they were like, "We finna go to such and such." Boo, boo, boo. And I was like, "No, you're not." Praise the Lord, bless you too. Uh, they were like, "We finna go over here." And boo, boo. I'm like, "No, you're not. I just had a dream about grandma. You're not going nowhere." And they were like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Not until we get a phone call that somebody passed. Y'all ain't leaving." Legit. I kept them there for 30 minutes. For 30 minutes. Yeah, my big cousin, she got a phone call. I don't even know who it was from, but my grandpa's best friend died. My grandpa was just with him. He had he had went home and then called him for something, and they found him in his backyard dead. So legit, like as soon as my grandpa left, he just died in his backyard. And I was like, "All right, you guys can leave now." Like legit, that was the thing. But yeah, I had to pray that away because I had a whole deep dive down that rabbit hole of things. So they have these. I'm super random, random thoughts. So they have familiar spirits, right? Which are demons that study you your whole life. And they can manipulate your dreams. They can. So if you dream about somebody that is dead, if you dream about a person that is dead, they are not them. Don't fall for it because it's not them. No matter what they say, it's not. So when people die, they are in a deep sleep. They are resting until Jesus comes back. People like to believe they're in heaven and all this other stuff. Nobody talks about nobody going to hell, but everybody's in heaven. They die and go to heaven. It's not true. But the only people that are in heaven is Elijah, because Elijah went up in the fire chariot, Elijah, and Enoch. God took Enoch, took him. That's in Genesis. Like, no, it's not Genesis. Is it Genesis? It might be. I think it might be Genesis 5. But yeah, took him. So them two people in heaven. Now, when you when you have dreams about these people, they're in a they're in a sleep. They're not they're not nowhere. And that makes me think about this Noah told me. Great man. So everybody's in a deep sleep because you go to sleep and then you just wake up and it's just like nothing. That's how it's gonna be. So you're gonna die and then you're just gonna wake up and then it's gonna be Jesus. That's and it's gonna be like the end of the world. So it's gonna be like judgment. So it's not like you're gonna be like waiting forever. It doesn't matter. You're dead. You don't have a concept of time. It's just gonna be, oh, Jesus. You know what I'm saying? And so this is really great man named Noah, right? Not from the Bible, but like in real life right now. And I was having this was before, yeah. I was still a heathen. I was still in the world. Um, but I was having a hard time with some. I think I was just feeling a lot of guilt and shame, and he was just kind of. I think he kind of sensed it because his spirit is something else. Like, yeah, and he was talking about his, like, just kind of giving me like a little testimony on his life, and he was talking about his one of his friends, how everybody's not gonna make it to heaven. And he was like, when I was in the world selling dope, all these things, I have this one comrade that died trying to kill somebody. He got killed trying to kill somebody else. And he was like, what bothers me is in his mind, like, because like this is really like a thing. In his mind, he was trying to kill this other person with his mind and in his heart. He was fixated on killing this person and caught a bullet and died. So in that moment of you trying to kill this person with all the hate in your heart and in your mind, you die. So that's it. That's the last thing that's on your mind and your heart. So you're gonna die. You're gonna be in a deep sleep. When you come back to life, you're only gonna see Jesus. When you see Jesus, you're gonna still have that hate in your mind and in your heart when you see Jesus. And then it's gonna be like, oh man, that shook me to the core. That really did. Like it really messed me up because I never thought about it like that. I don't think most people think about it like that. That's something like that's something really different to think of your last whatever your last thought and your heart posture is. That's what's going to be presented to the king. Mm, I really don't know. I mean, what I think with the 144, what I feel like is I think the 144 might be the Philadelphia church that they talk about in the end times, like that church that really or the part of the body that really followed him, that get the pass, but everybody else is gonna have to endure the things that happens in the end time. That really tests you. That tests your faith. That's what I think. But I mean, I don't know. I just be thinking. You know what I'm saying? And it's not for us to think. It's for us to, tell people to repent and praise the Lord. I mean, because the biggest thing that I see right now is pride, ego, and well, actually, there's a lot more, but pride, ego, and lack of accountability. There is no accountability in the world. People do not hold themselves accountable. I don't know why this is. I don't know why people don't check themselves, because they won't hear what another person has to say about them. Even if the person is really speaking to them truthfully, they don't want to hear what somebody else has to say, especially about themselves. But if you're not checking, and then you also have to check the body too. People that are in the church, specifically the church, I'm talking about the body. I'm talking about the people that believe in Christ, not necessarily Christians. I don't go by Christian. I go by believer and follower. That's what I go by. I don't go by Christian. You won't hear that come out of my mouth. Um, yeah, that's not what Jesus called us. He called us saints, disciples, brothers, believers, followers. That's what he called us. He didn't call us Christians. That's something else. But yeah, I mean, I think everybody else is gonna. I mean, I feel like everybody's just gonna have to go through the stuff, because when you look at it now, like, yeah, there's an awakening, but is it a is it a true awakening? Because the label Christian is going a lot of places, and but are you a believer in Christ though? Like, where's your fruit? Because are you patient? Are you loving? Can can you do all these things? Because that's like I think that's one thing, like with the LGs and all that community. Me personally, I don't care. I don't care. Do I think do I think they need to continue to hear what God has written from a person that is not saying it with love? No, they don't need to hear that. Now, if a person hears them, and a person is talking to them, and a person is communicating with them and actually hearing them, and you talk to them about God, don't talk to them like, oh, well, you can't be like that because it says this in the Bible. It doesn't work like that. Yeah, but we're also supposed to, you know, give everybody the truth, and it's not just them, it's everybody. Because when I look at myself, I used to do drugs. I used to beat women. I used to hurt people. I used to do all kinds of shit. You know, I was a womanizer, a thief. I was everything. So my sin isn't different than their sin. All sin is weighed equally. So just because you want to go suck a lollipop, You just shot at somebody. It doesn't work. That's why that's why I believe you need to talk to everybody the same way. It is, but that's why me and other believers are supposed to stand apart because the world is evil. But I think that be a big reason, and because it's so like spread out now, because it's not even just them. It seems like the world, especially the USA, is trying to cause so much division, and they want a civil war to break out anywhere. They really do. I don't know who, but they want it to. I think something is going to happen to America, and then that's what's going to spark off all these other things, right? Because the Muslims is already there. Oh, so did I. I did for years. I'm only I just got off the boxing a year ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, and yeah, I count the boxing as a drug and a demon because that was like the worst thing ever. I should have just got off fentanyl alone. Like, just got off of it. Because, boy, I tell you, getting off fentanyl, man, it took me some months to like get back. But I was on it for some years though. But yeah, I feel like something's gonna happen in America, and then Israel's gonna. Well, no, I feel like Russia's fully gonna move on Ukraine after whatever pops off on America, because we can only have so many people doing things at once. We're talking about going to Venezuela. We're talking about going to Mexico. We're talking about the Somalians now, and then having a civil war here. We can't protect Taiwan from China. China's going to take Taiwan. Period. They're going to. Uh, yeah, we can't stop that. They're going to take that, bro. The Ukraine, that is, I don't. They should just hand that over to Russia because Russia is not gonna. They are not gonna play nice. But Russia does this every like 20 years. They go. They try them every 20 years. But Russia's gonna move on Ukraine with China's help once everything starts booming. And then I don't know what's gonna happen to Israel, but speaking of Israel, I might get in trouble for this. I haven't been kicked off alive in a minute. This might be the time. So back, I'm trying to think who was in the land, but when Israel was us, right? When Israel was us, I mean the body of Christ. When Israel was Israel, he told us not to marry the other women, the heathens, the Gentiles. Don't associate with the Palestines, the Canaanites. All don't deal with none of them. Don't marry them. Don't follow their false gods. Don't follow their traditions. And he said, if you do this, you will go into bondage. You will be slaves. You will not have this land. This land will not be yours. That is exactly what happened. It's in the Bible. It's in the Old Testament. This land will not be yours, and you will be slaves, and you will be gone. You will die in foreign land. That is exactly what happened. Then all of a sudden, you have these other people that move and say they're Israel, once we lost the land, we lost the land. So it's not that's not a biblical thing that you guys are over there and you guys are Israel of God. No, no, we are no longer there. Now we are dispersed. And Jesus came, and now we can all be grafted in, all of us, because now we are everywhere. It's really simple, but people try to complicate things and try to confuse people. But my people die of a lack of knowledge. It's okay. Don't just read the Bible. Just read the Bible. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. Start in the Old Testament so you can really see how God is. Because like people be thinking like Jesus is gonna be sweet when he comes back. They gonna think, oh yeah, he's peaceful and all that. Nah, nah, bro. He's coming back hot. He's coming back pissed. He's coming back and setting stuff on fire, and he's doing it. He's coming back with him. Yeah, he's coming back mad. Um, but I mean, praise the Most High. It's crazy too. When I was in the world, like when I was like a heathen, when I was a good old Gentile, I used to think about like what would happen if I heard the trumpets, like for the end time, like he's coming. I used to be so scared. I used to be terrified. Like it would like legit like scare me because I knew I was going to hell. Like that, and that's just like the super scariest thing is I knew I was going to hell. Yeah. I mean, there's really nothing else to say about that. I was terrified. I mean, now I'm not really. Take me to the king. Hey, no, it's funny. I ain't gonna do that. But I mean, it's gonna be all the other stuff. It's gonna be rough. Like I don't think people like grasp that too. Like how rough it's gonna get. Like especially as Americans, like we don't think it. We don't think it's gonna get that rough. Or I don't know if we don't think it's gonna get that rough, but we've never gone without. We haven't. We haven't. We haven't gone without. You look at all these other countries; they've been without. We have not. We've lived like kings, but we haven't. We've lived like broke kings, but we've been living it. We go to the store and get whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like there was never like a short. COVID was like, well, I don't know if we can still say that word or not, but that seemed like it was just like a test, like an experiment or something, just to see like how long it would take for like society to collapse. Because I tell you, Portland was crap. Oh my gosh, it was horrible. Uh, yeah. I mean, I hope you guys really think about getting the real ID, like not getting the real ID and not switching over to the just digital money. Like if you have crypto, okay, but there has to be a way we can combat it. Like that's why I'm pushing so hard to get land with my wife, and she's with it. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's crazy because I asked for a wife, and she said all this stuff before like I even like talked about it. Like she was like, okay, well, this is what I'm looking for in a husband, and these are the plans that I want. Well, I'm looking forward to make happen. And I was like, oh, what do you mean you want land and chickens and cows? That sounds amazing. That sounds like what I want. And I mean, I never heard, anybody my age, you know, say that's what they wanted. Because I mean, that's what I want. Granted, I'm fine with being in the middle of nowhere with not a lot of people. Like, I'm fine with that. You know what I'm saying? Let me shoot a deer. You know what I'm saying? But, and you guys should really look into buying ammo if you can. Start really thinking about buying ammo. If you don't have a firearm, and you can get one. Well, let's go to felons first. If you're a felon, they have really nice pellet guns. They got some pellet guns that are crazy. Get you a pellet gun. I know you can't have a vest, but figure it out. I'm not telling a felon what to do. I'm not doing that. But they are pellet guns. Pellet guns are nice. If you are a regular person, get you a gun. You don't have to, but it would be in your best interest to. All these weird gun laws and things like that. Glock's not selling Gen 3 Glocks anymore. And that's what I would say as just as a father. I would say get a 1022, any 1022, because the 22, it's a little tiny round. They're cheap. Anybody can shoot them. Kid can shoot them. Wife can shoot them. You can shoot them. Everybody can shoot them. Get a 9. Preferably, everybody's not a Glock person. I say get a Glock. I have a plan for all these things because Glocks are not going to be really sold anymore. You can get a cop Glock, a Glock that a cop had from a pawn shop for like $300. You can get a 22, you can get a 17. You can get a lot, like $300, maybe 350. But it's going to run, and that is one of the most common guns in the United States. So say you break apart and you find another Glock. Now you have spare parts. People don't think about these things. I think about these things. But as AAC, there's a big ammo company that are running out of components to make civilian ammo. So if that one company is talking about it's hard to get gunpowder because of tariffs and all these other things, they said they're only making ammo for the military. So much ammo is going to Israel and the Ukraine. We're not getting any. So that means the other companies are going to start doing the same thing. Stock up on ammo. I've been saying this for so long. So long. It is killing me. Like, I don't know if people like been hearing me when I be saying that, but you don't even have to buy a lot. You really don't. And if you can't get defense rounds, just get full metals. Because I mean, it's better than nothing. That's not what I'm going to do, but that's not what I do. But I mean, either way, it's better to at least scare them. Even if you don't hit nothing, at least they're firing. You know, but it's a 1022. Those things last forever. I got a 1022 from like I think it's mine's a 78. Like my 1022 is older than me. My it's from like 78 or 76. Whatever year has it's the last year of the walnut stock. 1022 is dope. It is dope. I sanded it, restained it. It looks all pretty.
Got some camo tape wrapped around the handle. It's nice. It is nice. But yeah, I mean, I have guns that anybody that I'm with can shoot them. I mean, besides like, well, no, my wife can shoot everything. My daughter can shoot pretty much everything. I ain't gonna give her the 45 though. I don't trust her with that. And plus, it's a 30. It's a 30s, so it's short. So it's like it's like a Glock 19 or like a PSA dagger. It's that size, but it's a 45, so it's kind of got some raw. Um, but yeah, all my guns serve a purpose because I mean even if I give my daughter my 40, she could shoot it, and she shot my 40. She shot my 9. I don't think she shot my AR yet. Yeah, no, I don't trust her with that shit. I can't remember if she had. I need to ask her. I don't remember, but anyway, for some time, so I can take her out shooting again. The last time, the last time I took her out, we had I bought some watermelons. We were shooting watermelons. It's crazy because she shot the watermelon the first shot at like probably like 15 feet. It was funny. She got a little funny stance. No, I was playing. No, she got a pretty good stance. But I mean, I think that's a good thing too. Is teach your kids to shoot, but not all kids. You gotta know your kids. Every kid can't wield a weapon. Like, and that's just something you need to know about your kids. Like if little Timmy got a little anger problem or have a hard time don't controlling his stuff, don't hand him a firearm or teach him how to use it. That is one thing though that I do think is important when they get to any age, or not any age but to a certain age. You need to teach them how it operates, because even even if they don't use it, they'll have the knowledge of how it works. And I mean, if you know how something works, you're less likely to hurt yourself or somebody else. I think people would just be scared to like show their kids guns or teach teach their kids gun safety. But I mean, this the rules are pretty standard, because and I think that's the reason why I like taking my daughter out shooting. Well, the times that I took her out, so it could show her the the damage and the tools that they are and what they're used for. Because I don't think people have well, yeah, I don't think people that have the lack of gun knowledge. I don't think people take into account what they can do, and that's why I think soft targets are the best, like watermelons and like pumpkins, squashes, all those types of things. Because it's always good to put like a small piece of like wood up and then shoot something behind it, like a what's it called, uh, pumpkin. So you can like explain to the kids, this is what would happen if blah blah blah. See how that wood didn't do nothing? That's pretty much what happens with bullets that go through walls. It's the same exact thing. It does nothing. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know. People are just weird. Like, teach your kids and have your guns locked up. Like, that'd be another thing. People don't be having their guns locked up. Like, I mean, I understand like leaving. one out. That makes sense. But just having guns just everywhere and whatnot like that makes sense. And I mean, the only one that should be out is your daily carry. That's like on your nightstand or your sock drawer or wherever you keep it. And that's just for like the burglar in the night. But I don't think you really gotta worry about those kind of things unless you're somewhere doing something. No, I'm just playing. Things happen, period. But yeah, teach your kids how to shoot and teach yourself how to shoot. So I'll tell you, at 5 yards, you need to be shooting a good group. At 5 yards, you should be shooting a group at least this big. At least. Like no bigger than that. And that's huge. That's like no, that's too big. Maybe maybe the palm. Just the palm. Just the palm. But I mean, it doesn't matter because if you aim and always aim center mass, do not do no stupid stuff like try to shoot their leg or shoot their arm because that is an argument argument that I can't stand when people try to use, oh, somebody's running at you, shoot him in the leg. Bro, no, no. If I have to pull out a gun, no. If I pull a gun out, bro, it's over. Like I am scared at that point. Like it's life or death because I'm trying to flee the situation, talk the situation. I'm not gonna pull my gun out and then try to shoot somebody's leg, bro. You know how hard it is. Like that's what I'm saying. The palm on something that's moving, go to the range and with the sheet of paper, like push it out and then stop it and then shoot at it. It is hard to hit a moving target. It is center mass. That's why it's always center mass. Nobody's gonna just stop and be like, oh, sorry. Because if they stop running at you and they got their hands up, you better not shoot at them. You going to jail forever, forever. What is that called? Capital murder, murder one. You're going to jail forever, sir. If you ever do that. But I noticed too them lefties, man, like the extremes, the far lefts, them going to the range, they just rapid fire. They shoot like police. They they shoot just like the police. It's ugly work. But I mean, as long as you seek the Lord, because I mean, it goes back to that. You know, as long as you seek the Lord and all His righteousness and seek His kingdom, you'd be alright. You'd be alright. Because I tell you, being out here, I don't even, well, one, I ain't got a gun to carry out here, but if I did, I probably wouldn't, just because it's, I don't have any concerns or like worries. Like, granted, people be acting stupid, but I serve the Most High. You know, I don't need to fear nothing. That's the main thing. But yeah, repent, repent. Y'all have a good night. Praise the Lord. Praise the Most High. Yeah.